we're going to continue, we will continue nourishing our spirits. Some years ago, many years ago, probably by the end of the 80s, I was a very young, rebellious guy who went to a congress. They didn't talk about UFOs or parascientific matters. I went to Castelldefels, close to Barcelona. In this congress, Ramon Plana was there. He was the organizer and the founder of Karma 7, the most important magazine. And Salvador Freixedo was invited, and I had heard many of the UFO conferences, but the one Salvador gave us was impressive. He's very passionate in what he does, and he puts a lot of energy in all the things he does. And I am sorry that all the people that are now listening to now, that you cannot really enjoy this passion and the way he speaks, because he uses the language in a very special way, because Salvador Freixedo is a big show. He was born in 1923, therefore he is 92 years old, and you will see, it's not that I say it, he has a lot of energy. He's a priest since 1953, and he was, he got his priesterschaft there, and he's been a priest for 30 years. He has studied humanities, theology, humanities, psychology, many disciplines. But his first book, which is entitled 40 Casos de Injusticia, 40 cases of social injustice, the Batista, the dictator, threw him away from Cuba. In his second book, so that you can see the way he thinks, my friend, the title is My Church Sleeps, and it was not authorized in Spain because of the Franco dictatorship. That it caused a lot of commotion in the church, and therefore he had to leave the order of the Jesuits, and he was suspended. Since then, I think he has traveled all over the world, giving talks and allowing us to get to know his particular perspective of these subjects. He has got an incredible bibliography. El Diabólico Inconsciente, Porque Agoniza, Israel, Pueblo Contacto, it's one of my favorites, La Granja Humana, which is super recommendable, Los Dioses, Theopneología, because he reivindicates, as it's logical, the word omniología, ufology, this Iglesia Despierta. And this morning we were talking with his wife, Magdalena, and he has edited La Agenda de los Amos del Mundo. This is the agenda of the owners of the universe, and that's the title of the talk he's going to give us. Please, a big applause for this incredible genius from ufology called Salvador Freixedo. Ja ho he dit, ja està avisat. No hi és, estava aquí.
Que lo disfruten.
Bien, un honor estar aquí con ustedes. Bien, cuando uno está ya a punto de cumplir los 95, y ninguno de ustedes me dice que aproveche, pero podían haberlo dicho, pues uno se siente con más derecho a hablar, a decir aquella coplilla de que creo que es de Quevedo. No he de callar por más que con el dedo.
I have to shut my mouth, not only with my mouth. I don't have to be threatened by the fear. Never a bold spirit. Never say what you feel. And today we just live in the era of what's politically correct, and I'm against that. And I feel with the right to say whatever I feel. I'm going to talk about the UFOs, but I'm gonna talk about it in a different way. So a lot of people that is listening right now are not agree with me. I respect that. I ask them to respect my ideas. I think that the UFO phenomena, the ones have studied it, they just know a superficial truth about it, but it's deeper than that. And they would have to they should bring us to another level, but we're still on the surface. They never dig in. I call the second revelation to the phenomena. The second was, the first was just the religions, and they talk about the life beyond. All the founders of religions, Catholicism, it's all about the God, the Father. They all talk about immaterial spirits. On the other hand, the UFO phenomena, this second revelation, are visible. You can see them, they're physical, they come, they are revealing us things that the first revelation didn't tell us. So the people who have from the stars that come visit, they have told them a lot. They told us a lot of things. So people jump on studying these different fields, the interesting fields. But you have to know what's important and what's not. You have to discern. One might have no importance at all, and the other it has. So it's about discerning. This is it's like a life beyond, geographically. Same as the sun is further away than our moon. And if we look at a map, Greece it's further. It's further away from us. So that puts everyone gets very nervous. The scientific community, and the astronomers. You used to say that the stars, first that they were really cold, and then Billy Copses would say years ago that something about the moon, and everyone attacked him. But he was right. So they say that we couldn't live in those stars because we cannot reach them. So everything was false. Now you can't come. They say they can't come here. Well, they are here already. So anyway. This second revelation started with the Sumerian tablets. I want to check the time, otherwise just let me check the time. They told me I have 1 An hour? No, you gotta be organized. When I organized a lot of congresses and meetings, so you have to stick to the schedule. What I was saying, yeah. We knew about this through the Sumerian tablets, very interesting tablets. There was monuments and sculptures like the Hammurabi stone, and little letters written down about talking about all stuff. So at the end of the 19th century, two Italian men found a whole library with 4,000 years old. It was full of, it was in stones, carved in stones. So there was earthquakes and fires and 20,000 tablets that they found. What do they talk about these tablets? About the gods. The beings that they would come in fire carrots, and they would talk to the man, to the humans, and they would have certain qualities. So if you know really well the UFO community today, and you know how they used to act in the past, the ones that they are in the tablets, they look alike. There's still, even though that evidence, there's a lot of scientists that don't believe in that. So a lot of things, like a guy said a long time ago, well, when I wrote a long time ago, when I started mixing ufology, modern ufology, now I call it modern ufology. Well, it doesn't matter the name, it can be called anything. So now, after a while, everyone is talking about the gods, Anunnakis, and because it is what it is. The science. So all these things going on, and they're still translating these tablets because they're very hard to translate. The official science, the mainstream science should have been interested in it, but no, they didn't want to have a look at it at all. Religions wouldn't have a look at it. So God was the creator, but in the tablets it say that it was not like that. It was the gods were dominating the world. So they didn't have a look at it till the June 24th, 1945. Kenneth Arnold, that's an old story, it's a classic. I don't want to talk about old stuff, but because I want to talk about other things. But Kenneth Arnold was in a little airplane and he saw a flotilla of different UFOs. And he went to the newspapers to tell, and the newspapers told to the news agency, and the day after was a viral news, as we would say today. So it was the official UFO startup of this phenomenon. So imagine in the 1947 was a famous crash, but before that there was lots of crash and things going on under the earth and up in the air. Anyway, what happened with Kenneth Arnold? Well, people started to be interested in him. But not only in the UFOs were on the sky, they started to land, and they started to see them landed on the floor. They started to talk to the humans, starting to abduct some humans. Some of them they were returned, some of them were never returned, they never came back. Some of them they were taken. Because the diversity of the visitants that we have, it's big. So they would take them to their cities, in their star systems. They treat them okay. They're still friends today. I have a lot of friends that really been taken and visit these other civilizations. Other people they came back with really bad. They didn't have a good experience there in these other cities and planets, so we're not that happy. But so we know lots of things from the phenomena, but some of them are so terrible, they're so weird and rare that people don't want to talk about it. As I said a long time ago in a book, let's defend ourselves from the gods. So, no, just defend and be careful with them. They're not the gods. The extraterrestrial threatening. Well, yes, they are. In general, they are not all of them are like that, but and the human farm, the book that I did, yeah, we are a human farm, but we are not the owners of the farm. No Obama or the world leaders of the world, no Trump, sorry. The owners of these are others. What else we know about them? Okay, have a look. We know they were physical. They're physical beings. Even though their physics are not the same as that, we are three-dimensionals, they are ultra-dimensional. Well, how do you know that? Because the gravity doesn't affect them. They're invisible. Whenever they want, they can cloak themselves. And I had cases where a guy told me that I don't want to tell a lot of stories, but there are infinite stories about it. But so I wanted to tell myself, don't tell about the cases, because then it's all about. I don't want to do like everyone else does. But I know people that they've been taken and they made themselves invisible. So because when you are dealing with them, you have the same features. So you can go through the wall. They can go across the wall. But careful with that, because a kid wanted to do it when these aliens left, and then the kid just went straight to the wall, and then he hit the wall, obviously. So what else we know about them? A lot of them. Nowadays, I think in this Congress, Michael Salas is going to be here, and he's one of the persons who knows more about the different types of races that visiting us. Some of them are ugly, some of them are handsome, big heads. All of the majority of them have big heads. They're very intelligent. They're much more intelligent than us. But some of them are like they work for the other races, and then they just obey them, and they clone them. Nowadays we know the treats that governments have had with these races. They have treats with everyone, and they've done treats with the Germans, with the Nazis, and they taught the Nazis how to fly out in space. We know that the human authorities, the governments, did treats with the worst races. The good ones don't interfere. The good ones came and said the condition is that you stop the nuclear war and the nuclear development. So, but the governments, these bastards of the government that we have, and you see it in the newspaper every day. All of them are bastards. No, close, please. Okay. What else we know about them? Some of them, some of the investigators have been in the Area 51 investigating, where they co-work human and alien together since the 40s. A lot of them, they never hear about the Montauk. Montauk is a base, it used to be in New York, and now it's a big park. So since the 40s, they started working with extraterrestrials and humans together, and nowadays there's lots of bases. I know a lot of people who write to me that they already been in these bases 1, 2, 3 times at least, so they know. There's everything and diversity, and everything has happened already. The coincidences of a UFO and the synchronicities are, I've been studying for years and years, not only the UFO, the paranormal things that happen in this world. Then the science really don't. The science just say it doesn't happen. Well, in the matter of the UFOs, everything has happened already. I know people that it's been cured because the people who visit them are good people, and these extraterrestrials are good ones. So if there's any problem, he was in a wheelchair and they brought it back and he was cured. So they took him with a wheelchair and then closer where I live. And even he was driving in the car and they took him with the car included. I was looking up and down, and I was seeing I was going up, flying upwards, and yeah, he was scared about it. So the aliens let him go. They cure people. So on the other hand, I know a case that I investigated myself really deeply. So you would say, what is this guy telling me? Well, I'm telling you what the son of the guy, they cut him half, and they cut him in half, and they just dropped the thorax of the body, and they dropped it on the car. There was people inside, and it broke the glass, and the thorax of this body just crashed the glass of the car and went in. So it looks like it's all made up, but it's not. The son of the abductee told me. So the dead body was half of the body was in the car, and half of it was 3 kilometers away. So everything can happen, and we have to be careful with what we know as the black hats. Okay. There's lots of things, as I said now. There's very curious cases. Well, we need to know and discern the ones that are interesting, like the alliances that they have between them. I'm not interested. That Cory Gut is going to talk about it. I respect it, but I'm not interested. Not interested in. When somebody is visiting you and you're sitting down at your place, and somebody that you don't know, are you interested in the way where he comes from, or the car is that he has? No. What's the name of his uncle? No. What are you come here for? So that's the same. They're unknown people. What do you come here for? That's what I'm interested for. What they've been doing here all this time. That's what I'm interested in. And that's what we're talking about. And a lot of people don't want to know. They want to hear about it. Because there's a lot behind. There's two things. In my opinion, yeah. I can be wrong. Yeah, we can all be wrong. Is this information is so big, and the interests of certain people, so we don't know the truth. It's so big. I've been mistaken lots of times, but I got it right lots of times too. So we don't have to believe everything that comes. We have to listen, and then you can start making your own thoughts. What's the more important thing? As I said, even though there's a lot of confusion, I normally say a comparison, an analogy. A person, single person, for the first time, is in a room, and he hears some noise upstairs. So the table is moving, or plates are crashing, or what's that? I hear something. So I don't know if there's a party or there's a fight. He doesn't know. So he's there, doesn't know. But he knows one thing. That's how somewhere upstairs. There's someone upstairs. That's for sure. So that's what. It's the same with the phenomena. I don't know. It's bad. It's good. Oh, you know, it's the up there. There's people. Out of this dimension, there is people. There's dimensions. You can call it dimension or whatever you want to call it. Or life. From things that I've learned from this phenomena. We thought we were the center of the universe, and the religion helped to that. The center of the universe. And then when you, at night, you start to look up and you see everything. You see all these God amazing Bible. Somebody might think, who are we? So you start to doubt about everything. About what the old people have told, because it's impossible, because the mathematics, the maths help with that, because in a probability of thousands of chances, it was just us was the first prize. So who because I talk a lot, so I don't know if we're gonna have time, because I love to talk. The two principal things, the two main things that the phenomena brings. First thing, and we knew that before they came. You know who told us? The religions. They talk to us about that in the old cosmos there's a battle, a huge battle between the forces of the good and the bad forces. So the one that doesn't believe in any religion believes in I don't care about them. If they are good people, are honest people, I don't care. But when he talks about religions, there's the good and the bad. The good is and the bad is. So there's a big question for the human mind. Who have created them? Where do they come from? Why do they exist? And the Church, the Catholic Church, other religions as well, but Catholic Church says that the angels, a lot of angels revealed against God, so they admit the battle. They call it this way, but it was the forces of the good against the forces of the bad. So he used to call himself the prince of the world. So San Pablo used to call him the God of this world, and everyone was like, "What?" Yeah, they admit their presence, his presence. So that's the key. That's the key, which from we can deduce that from the UFO phenomena. What's the other 1,000 years ago, this planet, same happened in the whole world. There's nations and countries, and they are stronger than others, and some of them are bigger than others. Like England, they assault other nations, and in the cosmos is the same. So it's the same. There are inhabitants in planets that they are part of these negative forces that have assaulted and conquered other worlds. This our planet has been conquered by others 1,000 years ago, and they made us a slave. So have a look at the military and listen to them, the military, the governments. We are slaves. We are slaves, but people are sleepy and busy with all these things that happen every day because they are the consequence of their presence. So here I want to do a break. So I want to make clear, you, the ones that you are here right now, and myself, we are millionaires, and a lot of people don't know that. We are, compared to what's going on, this is an enslaved planet. This is suffering, this planet. It's a terrible planet. The statistics, the people don't really read them because they are focused on other things. Just the other day I was reading 800 million people are living with $1.50 per day. 800 million persons with $1.50 every day. So you've seen all these poor African kids in the TV ads. This is the planet, the terrible planet where the majority of the people live. We are just dumb, we are sleepy. Because the helpers are the helpers of these aliens are trying to keep us down so we are not aware. No? So why would you go to a congress like this? Somebody would think when there's people they're dying of hunger, and because a long time ago was invaded this planet. It's dominated already, and we don't realize about it. We're in a mental control, a huge mental control at big scale, because some of them, the ones that negative forces, they get into your mind, not the little minds, but because they are bad. They do the agenda and they do whatever they want. Qualities of some of them, I can tell you, some strange things. If somebody dedicates some time into this, so I tell a lot of people that want to investigate in deep issues from this phenomena, I tell them, don't get involved if you are not strong and your mind is not strong. So some investigators want to investigate about Satan and satanic rituals. Say, be careful. The mind can really get out. You can lose your mind. People went crazy. I've seen people going crazy. So some things I've seen, they impressed me so much. And I know that people have been impressed for life. Because everything has been mixed. All this. What do we know about them? Some of them are zoomorphers. So what's that? So they look like animals. Some of them, the majority, they have a reptilian look. it's very curious because in the Bible, in the paradise, there was a snake already in the paradise. So the worship to the serpents, to the snakes, it's huge. I've seen it here in Spain. So you can see in the rocks that there used to be carved snakes here in Spain. So the reptilian race. So a lot of people say that a lot of witnesses say that the reptilians, that these witnesses have been raped and assaulted by these guys were. They said that these guys were reptilians, that they have faces like reptiles. Lots of them have come up with this, but a lot of people don't say anything. So they very these races are. They perverts. They are bad in two ways. They negative in the human mind. We didn't know that, but now we know the human mind. When it's active, it's always active. But when it emits a lot of waves out there from the brain. You can look it up on internet, the medicine. So you can see all these screens where you can see all the graphics, and you can follow like the Russians did. They put a little rabbit. They put the mom far away from the little rabbits, and they killed the rabbits, and the rabbit mama was away from them, and she would feel it. So when a baby is sleeping and they're measuring their brain activity, and the mom is coming, so the brain activity increases. So there was a monk in Tibet. It was in the meditation. His mind does incredible things when you look at through the screen when they are studying their activity, their brain activity. They don't want us to. The aliens, the extraterrestrials, don't want us to know. They want us to keep feeling that we are the owners of this planet and not realize that we are already slaves. That's their strategy. They have 5 helpers, these beings. I've just divided them into 5. The first of them, the authorities. They put the authorities there, so they put the people who are in charge, they put them there. And the more power you have, the more corrupted. So the ones that they are up there, they're very intelligent. They're not good people, but they are intelligent. They don't have any empathy. They're not empathetic at all, this type of person. They love the power. I cannot go into detail of each one, but second helpers that these extraterrestrials have. The owner. Whenever you want to go against the government, you can see that they're hitting back. You can see it right now. And so if people know the corruption that all the world leaders have, and that they all linked in between each other, and with all this network of pornography, they worship. They a lot of pedophiles in this level. It's out of control. There's lots of books. This book, I mentioned them, a lot of them. This is a book that I recommend to you. Other helpers, the banks, the ones who are ruling the world, the bankers. So the authorities and governments would do whatever are dictated from the bankers. And these are the owners of all the companies, the big companies. So it's a minority of people. These ones, the banks nowadays, if you look at, if you pay attention, didn't start just yesterday. It started a long time ago. It's an incredible organization to domain the world. It's incredible. Some years ago, they created a specific language. When the bankers speak, the world leaders, the world bankers, you don't understand them. Remember where they used to talk about the prima de riesgo? They're just technical words. So what happened with that? No, nobody knows about it anymore. So what happened with that? The risk of the... This is an in-house joke, you know. So if you see the banks nowadays, they just transfer between themselves high quantities of... Well, where are they? How we end up with all this money? Well, just to domain the world, they use the money. At the beginning, it was we used to just, I'll give you, we're starting with little coins, nice, beautiful, and then we started to have, now we have credit cards, now we have the chip inside our skin if we want. So all these thousands of millions of money, where is it? It's non-existent money. It's nowhere. Yeah, they fabricate the money whenever they want, but there's no enough money for all these thousands of millions. This is money that it doesn't exist. It's a click on the computer. It's just there's nothing, because it's the pure invention. As I said, if I start to go in detail of each helpers of, I wouldn't finish. So the banks, years ago, nothing happened. There was a big earthquake, and then something happened. But the Lehman Brothers happened, and everything synced in, and so the war crisis kicked in. And why? Because it's an artificial thing to damage the world. It is a superhuman thing to do. It's not a human thing to do. Humans cannot organize such a thing. So now we don't have any money because they want it like this. And then the ideology, the ideas, your whatever that somebody thinks. The communism, for example, they started not a long ago, and it didn't have a long life. It's pretty much gone now. But communism, yeah, well, 100 million people dead because of the communism, only between Mao and Stalin. But the communism is not the ideology that that is not the ideology that helps the ETs. No. Because it's only in some different countries, but it's the religion who's really domaining us. So all the religions can help with this, and we'll talk about it later if I have enough time. Damn it. Okay. Other helpers that these guys have, and you're gonna laugh, the sex. Is there any contactee that have said we as some of them that they come from out there have, some of them have said we will leave you the free will for sex. For the animals can, when it's time to reproduce, they do. But the humans and the men and the women, of course, it's not. We can't control this yet. So there's times in history that this one had a fight with the other one, and it looks like it's politics. No, it's just it's all about sex. Sex has driven humans to do crazy things. So there's no one that can say because it's done in purpose, like this. What's the last one? Okay, so they 5 different. These are the big helps that they have, the big helpers, and that's why the world is like that today, the way it is today. And whoever hasn't realized this is because it's totally blindfolded. I'm going to read this because this is more important thing. So I'm going to make sure that it is. So people don't say and put on my mouth words that I haven't said. Because people can just on YouTube can just say whatever they want. So anyway, I will read because this is the part of the investigators have dismissed. So this is the spiritual part of the phenomenon. It's the most important thing. We are spirits. We have a spirit too. Like the prophecies say, I'm not a prophet, but I will tell you a prophecy. All of you, in 70 years, you'll be dead. I'm telling you now. You like it or not? You're going to be in another level, in another kingdom, the kingdom of the spirits, even if you don't believe in it. One who doesn't believe in any religion, well, I'm sorry about you, because you're going to come back to nothing. But maybe you'll feel okay there. But the majority of us will be in other levels and spheres. And in this other level, that it's halfway through between these two, okay. Because a lot of times I think myself, do these guys have God? Do they believe in God? Do they have a life beyond death in their world? And so I will tell you, there's a lot of controversial things. Everything that comes from the beyond, it's very controversial. So I don't know what I know now. So one of the most famous contactees, Sesma, Mr. Sesma, he was in bed, and a lot of things had happened to him, and I was in the same bed with him, sitting down, and he was telling me, Freixedo, I don't know what to think. It's natural. He's been in this and when you've been in this for such a long time, you don't know what to think. So I start. So probably more than one person, when they heard religion, they thought, religion has nothing to do with the UFO. With all my respect, I have to tell you that you are very wrong. And this book is the answer of that question. If you like religions or not, you can agree or not, and the majority are silly, but they're in the center of all cultures. All religions started with apparitions, with like similar like UFO encounters. In both, there's extraordinary beings with higher powers, with big powers. And at the beginning of the religions, when the religions were set up, on one side the humans, before the presence like that, he would worship them because he believed it was in front of God. But on the other hand, the being there was a black hat, there was the negative force. He wanted to domain us, and seeing how ignorant we were and easy to domain and to manipulate, they say, yeah, I am a god, and I ask you for sacrifice. We want blood. So that's so suspectedly those sacrifices where the blood were really important, because the men nowadays are more aware. We don't offer blood to them, but they go directly to the farms to get the blood. So the blood is very present, and sometimes in a weird way in so many religions. The Jews, they read in this Genesis, the 15th chapter, so you can see that things starting to mix up here. The Biblia, the Bible, the Genesis, are not very religious, but there are things that they are really right from religions. The Mesopotamic tablets, they were talking about gods. They were in the Bible too. So the Jews in the 15th chapter of Genesis, they read the curious mandators so they would dictate what type of big animals would need, and they had to put all of half of the animals of the bodies, just put one in front of the other, and then you can read all these suspect words. And at night, it's when there's a huge oven that appeared like a torch of fire that would slowly go through the half of these dead bodies. And a very naive way. This is a very naive way of describing a UFO. It looks like the E.T. Javeh that had disguised himself as a god, but he wasn't. He loved blood as well. That the blood was just coming out from those animals. So from that ceremony, from the Shiitas, the Muslims, if you remember, the Imam is on the right and he's hitting with a little knife to each of the people, and then all the blood is everywhere. Why? Because to all these negative forces that domain us, they love blood. Mystery. No, not a mystery. Not that mystery. Blavatsky used to talk about that, but if you talk about him, it's like people just... So the truth is always mixed with the non-truth. So ceremonies with animals involved are very common in religious rituals. So nowadays they say they have nothing to do with these UFOs, the leaders right now, but they're wrong. A long time ago I'm saying that the UFOs is the sulfuric acid for the majority of us. These things that I'm mentioning today, these are the things that have to be investigated, and not where they come from, or if the shining light or went that way or the other. It's interesting, but this is much more interesting because it affects us and as well to the life that we're going to live as well in the future. And that what makes this planet a suffering planet, that everyone is suffering. And the story of this planet is frightening. War, war and war. And I say, how can it be possible? A planet that it's able to do apparatus that they are whatever, but they press a button and a little craft or a satellite goes and changes direction with just one click. So we achieve this. When we do Olympic Games, we will fight each other, and then when the Olympic Games everyone is in harmony, we've done incredible things, but on the other hand we cannot stop to killing each other. We have to kill each other. That's our activity. We have to kill each other. Year after year, year after year. We can't stop that. Why? Because there's somebody up there pushing that, because that's what they like. I won't talk about, you will know about the UFO, that a lot of people don't believe it, and the church has been quiet about the UFO that landed in front of the Pope, John the 23rd, and he talked about we talked for 20 minutes with the Pope, and when he finished, the conversation was over. They said that the sons, the children of God, are everywhere, but the men have a lot of difficulty in recognize them, and they are all our brothers. So that's what he was told to the Pope. So apparently the Pope told to his helper. Apparently, by the way, he died 2-3 weeks ago, the helper of the Pope, with more than 100 years old. It took 26 years for him to disclose this conversation. So a lot of people think that the religions, and especially Catholic Church, are bad for humanity. But respecting their ideas, I say that they are wrong. I was wrong as well on a stage of my life. I'm still being critical against the religions, because the way they act right nowadays, because they are a bad copy of what their intention was of the founders of this religion. So this degradation of the religion is being pushed by people from these extraterrestrials that control us, because so all the big founders of the religion says different things. But all religion and all belief, they all believe in a supreme being. It doesn't matter what it looks like, but there's a pearl, the pearl of the transcendency, and it's been stained by who? By the human that they're managing them. All the hierarchies and all the power that when you become or somebody become a general or a very powerful person, it starts to be a venomous for the rest. So it's truth that Catholic Church, Christianism, have become a non-friendly organization, too egocentric, and a lot of they are against sex. So when sex is the sugar and the salt of life, but when you use it the right way, the same as having a drink. It's nice after a meal, have a nice drink. But if you have another one, you end up just lying on the road. So that's the same with religions and sex. So even though all this that I'm talking, I see the positive sides of the Catholic Church, the fundamental.
Ama al prójimo como a ti mismo. Y todos somos hermanos porque somos hijos del mismo Padre, Dios. Esa es la esencia del cristianismo. Y no todos los periferios que le pudieron poniendo después a lo largo de los siglos. Esa fue la radical revolución para que aquel mundo antiguo de castas tan alabado de los griegos, pero entre los griegos y los romanos la esclavitud era una cosa normal. En un plano concreto, en el mundo occidental, los monjes de la Edad Media fueron los que enseñaron a leer a los bárbaros del norte. Y nos presentan las religiones orientales como una gran cosa, sí, pero tan avanzadas, pero ¿saben lo que son los Dalit? Los Dalit son los esclavos, ya viene el avisador. Bueno, pero tienes toda la razón, cuando sea me lo dices, dame 5 minutos. 20 minutos, muy bien. Todavía en un plano más personal, la figura de Jesucristo ha sido y lo sigue siendo para una inspiración para millones de personas, de hombres y mujeres que siguiendo su ejemplo han dedicado su vida y servicio a los demás. Muchos han hecho muchos disparates y ahora con esto de la pedofilia por ahí es horrible que eso pase. Pero aparte de ellos hay mucha gente, muchísima gente que son cristianos realmente como hay que serlo, o budistas, ¿entienden? No me refiero solo al que practican lo que dijeron sus fundadores y no otras cosas que les hicieron después. Lo esencial del cristianismo no son sus jerarcas, eso si acaso son lo peor de ellos. El que no admita estas cosas, de que hay millones de personas a las cuales la religión los ha hecho grandes personas, es un ignorante en historia. Y lo mismo que hay mucho fanático religioso, hay mucho fanático antirreligioso, por puro gusto. ¿Y qué tiene que ver todo esto con el fenómeno ovni? Aunque a muchos les cuesta quererlo, las religiones son el principal enemigo que los extraterrestres reptilianos tienen para implantar en el mundo el clima de odio y desorden que a todos les gusta, Las religiones, antes de ser deformadas por estos seres, decían fundamentalmente lo mismo. ¿Y qué decían? Hay un ser supremo, no robes, no mates, no hagas daño a nadie y sea honesto en todas tus acciones. Las religiones así practicadas son una gran defensa contra todos los males. Confucio, Lao Tse, Krishna, Rama, Buda, Quetzalcóatl, todos en el fondo los fundadores de religiones predicaron igual y simplemente el bien. En el Sendavesta, que es la Biblia de los zoroastrianos, se dice lo mismo y se dicen frases que siglos más tarde aparecen en el Evangelio dichas por Jesucristo. ¿Por qué? Porque son las mismas. Haz el bien y esa es la única religión. Por eso yo digo de mí muchas veces, ¿qué hago yo? A mí, mi religión es ser buena persona, ser honrado, nada más. Puedes hacer más cosas que realmente te han dicho en el cristianismo, pero si eres eso, una vez a Jesucristo se le presentaron un fariseo y le dijo, maestro, ¿cuál es el mandamiento más grande de la religión? Y Jesús contestó al pie de la letra, ama a Dios con todo tu corazón. Y sin que se lo preguntara dijo, y hay un mandamiento semejante a este, ama al prójimo como a ti mismo. Y no solamente al prójimo que te ama, sino a los que no te aman y piensan mal de ti. Porque si solo amas a los que te aman, eso no hace nada particular. Bien, y aquí voy a dar un salto mortal, pero para mí estas son las profundidades del fenómeno ovni y no de dónde vienen, ni las alianzas que tienen entre ellos, ni su extraña manera de cruzar. Y aunque los ufólogos y científicos se sonrían ante mi ingenuidad, yo, que he sido un audaz toda mi vida, no quiero ahora encogerme por miedo a lo que puedan pensar de mí. Y ojo con esto que voy a decir, que es muy importante. Yo sospecho, y se lo digo a los ufólogos, yo sospecho que los extraterrestres reptilianos que a tantas mujeres y hombres han violado, aunque ellos no lo crean, yo los conozco, y están...
There's a lot of books written by witnesses. I suspect the reptilians that have attacked and raped so many men and women. I used to have I had 16 cases from from these abductions from reptilians. So, but if you only just listening what's happening on TV, on the shows, and you are following the celebrity TV shows, you do whatever. Or you want to follow Barca or Madrid, the football, you keep sleeping on that side if you want. Extraterrestrials that go to the farms and extract the blood from so many animals. I knew about a farmer that he lost 300 sheep. So all the Yankee that appeared in the tablets, in the Sumerian tablets, I suspect that the devils, the exorcists get out of the people who has all these people, and the people that from Abraham and Moses that they were asking, and all, and still the people from these UFOs are the same that have been domaining this planet for years and years. And this is a planet full of suffering, but we are millionaires because we all here, we are millionaires, as I said before. So that's what I think, that's my thoughts, and I have a lot of reasons to think like that, but I'll tell you more. The increasing of the unbalanced facts that are happening, that if you look at the statistics are bigger than what they say, is increasing of suicides in between the young people and the chaotic state that we are all getting in, the war crisis that apparently came out of nowhere. The pandemia of the drug addiction, it looks like everyone taking drugs nowadays, and the porn addiction, well, and if you didn't know that, a lot of kids of 14 years old, thanks to internet, they are porn addicts as well, without their parents knowing about it. And at these ages, the pornography is venomous that destroys the sexual instinct for the whole life, for the rest of the life. So we have to say the professionals normally are cowards, but we have to say the truth. The sincere people know about that and they tell about it. So we know. All of this is because of them, these ET that controlling the planet, and through the helpers that we talked about before, the Illuminati, the Bilderberg Group, the Roma Club, the Masons, the International Masonry, and the rest of the group that they are conspiring against the New World Order. They only obey to the orders of the guys in the skies. So there's still people asking how you get here, what petrol do you put in your craft? I don't care about that. So to end up to end up with all these crises that we are suffering, I'll tell you about Janet Yellen. Who's that woman? Well, she's the president of the Federal Reserve, the ones who managing the money. This is the president, and she told this 3 months ago to the Congress in America. I will tell you as she said. In between the reasons that explain why there's the work. So the consume of drugs have affected the young population, and they abandoning right now the studies, and on the other side the addicts are not getting into the market, the work market, and then they suffering depressions, and they end up, lots of them dying. So this is the society we're building, and people don't know that they don't realize that we are going to the society. So all these, so some of them now they're starting to realize we've been invaded. It's like, okay, well, we are ruled by imbecile people, imbecile. And if you want another fact, it's a scary fact. In the latest book from Jim Quench from San Diego University, in which they publish the result of a poll in between 11 million people of Americans that have born after 1980, and they spend half of their life with a phone in their hands. They say a lot of worrying things, in between a lot of things, that the suicide rate in between 12 years old and 14 years old girls has been triplicated. So 3 times. So the mental control that they have now on the networks and on the TV, that's these things are happening because of that. In the past, it didn't happen like it's happening now. So in our society, our government, what do I say? What do they do? Well, just they're fighting between each other just to get some power. They don't know about that. They just wanna get there to the top. And once they're there, they do nothing, because then they put their own people, so they don't fix the problems. And the last part is going to be difficult to accept for you, for some of you. So if we accept that our planet was invaded by other beings very intelligent, it's logical that we think that their influence over us, it's been huge, and logically it's going to be it's going to continue to be like that. And that's the more important thing, that they are there, they're extraterrestrials. Maybe they're more extraterrestrial physically, or maybe pure spirits. That's how much I have left? 5 minutes. Some people, the people that I know incubes from modern incubes, that they have sexual experiences, but behind that there's always bad and very negative. Okay. Why a lot of people have been invaded by these people? Why their minds been invaded? Why they're full of rubbish? Because they're waiting for somebody to occupy their mind. So the people who have the balanced mind, they don't have those problems. In a very naive way, there's a lot of spirits that they come from wherever they come from. Like the Ouija. The Ouija works, but it can damage. It has damaged a lot of people. So they're not flying around, they're on our minds. Their friends, the helpers, have helped them to get into our minds. Recently, Mr. Manger has passed away. He was a big contactee. I was in his house lots of times. Howard Mengen asked one of these guys who visit this extraterrestrial, what can we defend? Can we defend ourselves about this? They say, no, the big battle of Armageddon is going on. So the way that you can defend yourself is the praying, good thoughts, and the right use of intelligence. And I promised you before, in a book from a Mexican, a good investigator. So the answer that this guy from Orion, this extraterrestrial from Orion, told him. They say, what idea of God do you have? Say, God is the extraordinary being that creates worlds, universe, direct, and all the universes. It's the breath, it's the life, it's the creation of life, and in any form or shape. It's the source of life. It's the dogmas that you have created in your own world are only that, dogmas. So in this ordinary world that you have created with reality, the concept that you have of God refers of a person, of a material person that has more powers than the humans. But nevertheless, the man has a lot of it, a lot of this cosmic mind. But it's been invaded by these our oppressors, the ETs. So reading a lot of authors, or Bill Mayer, my suspicion, I have a suspicion that these things are not how they look. So Dr. Shakuntala Modi, she's not any fanatic, she's a psychiatrist from Virginia. He says that Remarkable Healings is a book that he says that a lot of her patients, they can be cured from their illness, mental illness, through invoking these beings. So the believers are meeting with the saints that they believe in. So this is one of the mysteries of the spirit world. So the spirit world exists, and it's much bigger than the world we live. So that's what it drives me to the study of the UFOs. So, over the all religious, we resist, and I'm finishing. So I resist myself to belong to an organized society where there's a show, it's a showtime, or there's a where a woman with beard and mustache is gonna be the one who with the final prize. I don't want to be part of this society where it's normal that children have two fathers and no mother, with no mother, who is the person who you love the most in the world. I resist myself to believe that a doctor could introduce an apparatus in the vagina to this little girl and destroy her. I resist myself to those monster facts. and the cavern, and that can be legal in a lot of countries. And I finally resist myself to be a coward and say yes to everything because this is the correct political thing to do. So I'm not an oldie or an old-fashioned person, but I still have some good neurons. So as you see, my final conclusion is to have a good consciousness with no regrets and bad intentions. That's the best defense against all these attacks from this negative force that have enslaved us. And to finish, let me tell you a little verse of my favorite poet, the Buesa, the Cuban poet. I know dead people from birth, and there's people who is struggling the whole of their life, but there are struggles. But there are struggles. But there's no worse agony that live unhappy. And I could tell you that God doesn't exist, but if God wouldn't exist, now I got out of my mind, I'll start again. I could tell you that God doesn't exist, but to negate their presence, it's not good, because a man without God is like a dog. But if a dog, so because the God that they introduced to us, we cannot believe in that God. This is a bad God. It's just this God is not the good one. It's not the. In this God we cannot believe. I don't believe in that. You know what God do I believe? In a naive and a childish God. I believe I believe in the God from Jesus Christ talk about. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Salvador, for this gift, for this incredible talk. Just let me add something else. If humankind is a group of ships, I'm one rebel ship. I suppose probably more than one of you is going to feel like that. So rebels to the power, the lady on the first row. Can somebody take a microphone to her, please? I cannot. My wife is my ear.
I'm Alenka. Hello. Thank you for a very nice 1 hour with you. I would like to ask about love, because you were talking about what they do, what we do, about sex, about war, about everything, but there was no mention energy of love and of all this, what they are searching or whatever, experimenting and making us slaves or however, but I think the energy of love is something that should be mentioned. I would like to know what you think about love. Love, amor.
I don't know if you know the letter from Eisenhower. No, Einstein to his daughter. I don't know if you know it. If you don't know it, please look for it, because it's very good. When I wrote my theory, the relativity theory, scientists didn't understand that the biggest energy was staying out, which is love, this energy. And Einstein was telling his daughter, look for this letter. Some people deny it, but it exists. And it looks like it's truthful. And I've been reading a lot about contactees that are speaking about beautiful things about love, and there are theologists. For example, Leonardo Goff, who is a theologist, who was nearly excommunicated by from the Pope in the theory of liberation. He says also very nice things about love, because truly, love is everything. We have to love everything. It's union of everything. Of course, I believe in that. It's the only commandment. When Christ said the biggest commandment, which one is it? And he said, love God. But also, the most important is love the one next to you, even the ones that are not here. I'm 100%, I agree with that. We are love. Let's see one question. When you were speaking about ETs, you spoke about some good ones and some bad ones, yes? Precisely, you spoke about a race called the reptilians, yes? That they should be looking to get chaos and suffering and war. Okay. But which is the benefit do they get from that? Oh, I will tell you. First of all, two things. The first benefit is that when the human brain, as I said before, is in peace, it radiates different kinds of waves, and there are people that can feel that. These waves, for them, most of all when we are suffering, these waves, as the Bible says, is the aroma that came out of their images. It's a pleasure, first of all. It's a pleasure for them. Second of all, they don't study us because they are feeding from us. The extraterrestrial, there are only 3 dimensions. They need a special energy, three-dimensional energy, and they have these 2 things there. And that's what they have said, and that's what we need. But the more we suffer, the better for them. Sorry. Somebody was saying something else.
No? The last question, última pregunta.
Last question.
Buenas tardes, profesor Freixedo.
Sorry, Professor Freixedo, thank you very much. Congratulations for your conference. Are there good extraterrestrials, or all of them are bad? And what do we have to do to get rid of these reptilians? Of course the good ones exist. There are many people. Look, in the crop circles, the famous crop circles, that many people say they don't believe in them, that they have nothing to do with that. For me, they are the good extraterrestrials, and they are telling us through these things, and every year they are much even more beautiful than the previous year. We are here, but they don't interact with us, but they make us see that they are here. That's what I see. They exist, and many people their lives is very good for that. I've met 3 people who have already got the lottery 3 times. There's a book from a Mexican. He was taken to Mars, and he wrote a book called I Was in Mars. And then he got the lottery, and the poor guy, the kids started the school. He had many children. And one day he was completely desperate because he wanted to buy them clothes and food. And he was taken over there. And the story is very, very long. And the guy told me the story. He put the hand in his pocket and he could see a lottery ticket. Money. And he had enough money to buy all the things that he needed to buy for his children. So I know people who has had it very good because he has been influenced by these beings. And if you read Carla Turner, you can see there examples of this woman. Carla Turner is one of the best things that you can read about UFOs. And some of them are there, and some of them are children for their mothers. A big applause for Salvador Freixedo, please. But allow me to tell you that in case you would like to have one of his books, or books from Magdalena del Amo, or the DVDs that Daniel Muñoz has brought, and other speakers of the Congress, we have a couple of tables before on the way out, and maybe they can sign the books for you.